Are you tired of the same old sports media? Are you tired of hot takes, arguments, and questions that are just completely off base?
Luckily, we have something for you. Touchdowns and tangents of the people, for the people, by people who care about the culture and all its concise commentary.
What's up, good people? Live from Hawthorne, California, it's Touchdowns and Tangents. I'm Pete D. Camarillo. He is
Kenneth Berry.
no Frank James this week, or what?
And James is silent.
I guess. Yeah, man, so it's been a couple weeks. We took the last couple weeks off. 2 weeks ago was 4th of July. Last week, Kenny was busy at media days. I was busy getting ready for Summer League. Just a crazy week. Plus, our third leg, Nikki, has moved on, so it just felt right.
That's crazy.
To take a little
third leg.
Yeah, of a tripod.
Fam, I mean, it's a lot to say a third leg.
No, you're just perverse, like I said earlier, and that's immediately what you went to. Instead of a tripod, which is made up of three things, and you also use to make content.
You could have said a stabilizer.
You should have thought of a tripod first, because we're talking in professional settings. I just wouldn't have
made her a leg on a tripod. I would have made her the part that holds it together. Whatever.
Nah. You're trying to clean it up, and I'm not going for it.
I mean, I've been
just fall on the perverse HR sword.
I'm pretty sure she would be like, "Thank you for the glazing," but I don't think she wouldn't call herself a third leg. Most women wouldn't call themselves third legs. It's just kind of wild. Anchor, maybe? Yeah, like track, 4x4, because it's the Olympics.
That's not an anchor, no. She wasn't an anchor.
You didn't run track. How do you know?
I know track terminology. I covered track. What the fuck you mean?
My mom was a track star.
I know what the fuck. No one's saying I know more about track than you are. You're trying to tell me I don't know about track.
No, my mom knows more track than both of us.
I know what a fucking anchor is,
she
bro.
She'll tell you.
I know what a fucking anchor is. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I just
Kenny, this is just you deflecting from the fact that you just made a sick-ass analogy in your head and you projected it on me rather than just taking the L.
Nah, it's more like you're really serious and I'm just joking around.
Yeah, I know.
I need you to lighten up.
Anyways, the point is...
You've been losing weight. Why are you getting so heavy right now?
The point is, it just felt right to take a little breather, reset, and now we're here. College football is back on console, and everyone doesn't know how to act. There's been crazy glitches, been fights, tables broken, TVs broken.
I had a glitch earlier where I batted the ball and the ball went back behind the line of scrimmage 20 yards.
I beat Kenny in the series yesterday 2-1. Had a crucial onside kick in the second quarter, 28-point swing, and pretty much just traded blows.
56-48. Hell of a game.
For 4 quarters. And then before that, the 2 games, I skunked him first, and then he skunked me. And so, after this podcast, we'll probably run another game real quick.
Pretty much.
But, man, it's back. I don't know if it's better, but it's good. It's solid. They need to figure out the tackling.
The tackling
offensively,
is pathetic.
Offensively, I think it's definitely the most realistic football game I've ever played.
Yeah, offensive linemen should love this game. Because the run fits are there. The hole's actually there.
Yeah, the offensive line play is actually better than
Madden.
Better than any game, really. Yeah. I think some of the throws and catching is still a little campy for me, and I think running is a little bit too OP just because the tackling is so trash.
Once you hit the open field, it's pretty much over.
Well, that's just kind of just nitpicking.
That pass rush is dead, though.
But yeah, Kenny spent 2 hours just going through the rosters for no reason.
How do you think I know so much about all these fucking players, Pete?
Well, the good thing is now they actually have fucking names and
it's accurate.
And size and weight and where they're from, class and all that good stuff.
Yeah, hey mom, I made it. Hey dad, I made it. Hey unc, I made it. They get to show the whole block. This is gonna bring families together. This is feeding families already. This might be the one thing that keeps us from full-blown Armageddon.
Yeah, and outside of that, man, training camp is coming real fast. The next 2 weeks, teams are beginning to meet Me and
team's already started. I think the Texans are already fully in.
are they
Mm-hmm.
early?
Yeah, but they're a young team.
Tired of this.
I don't think they're in camp, Kenny, because
I-
C.J. Stroud just had a camp like yesterday, 2 days ago.
I'm pretty sure I would know. I'm the one who like had to put the headlines and shit. I had to edit the headline when it was on ticker. Like, pretty sure. I think I would
Are they
know.
playing in the Hall of Fame game?
Yeah, that's why them and the Bears are checking in early. It's the first. The Hall of Fame game is the first. It's what, the 18th?
Damn, it's coming up fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Anything else we got to catch folks up on?
R.I.P. Monte Kiffin, innovator of the 4-3 defense. He's the reason why Gerald McCoy got drafted so high. He's the reason why Warren Sapp became a Hall of Famer. That man created a system. It doubled down on having nose tackles and pass rushing D tackles. And now, with the foundation with what he laid, you see all these crazy ass stunts. Like, I mean, obviously Aaron Donald is Aaron Donald, but is Aaron Donald is effective if the 4-3 doesn't exist? The Tampa, like the concept that Monte Kiffin created.
Yes, because he played in a 3-4 most of his career.
Yeah, but I'm saying he was a defense. He was like All American at defensive end and D tackle, and his versatility was like just overutilized in a system that Monte Kiffin helped create. Is what I'm saying. Like a lot of people are like the grandchildren of Monte Kiffin, and like the system that he created helped a lot of people get paid.
For sure. I mean, I will say I think teams have started to move away from the Tampa 2 over the past 10, 15 years. I feel like it's far and few between than 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's only
when
one
basically
Tyreek
like
Hill.
every team was running it. But I think just the tight ends have gotten a lot faster. The running backs have gotten a lot better, so it's harder for those corners and linebackers to cover all that space. And then also just receivers have just gotten better, and the rules are more in their favor. So, it's easier for them to make that highlight catch over safety over the top. But I think what you're alluding to is just the concepts of finding other ways to create a pass rush by just bringing forward, by having different kind of stunts and twists and finding new ways to keep contained and, fight against screens. I think that's all concepts that have carried on regardless of the front. So, yeah, man, R.I.P. Monte Kiffin.
Plus a lot
father of Lane.
A lot of famous people died. Like 6 famous people died in a row. Like, it's crazy. Richard Simmons, renowned workout, made really, like, working out, like, being the king of a fitness class and, like, what he did. He helped a lot of lives. I mean, so it's kind of crazy. And then Kobe Bryant's father died. Yeah, man. And I think Kobe Bryant's dad was what, like 68? He was still like in his late 60s, but Richard Simmons was like 78. So yeah, man, it's we're losing receipts. People are dropping like flies. So just make sure you take some times to shout out, be appreciative of some of the elders who gave back and poured into the youth. Like, salute them.
All right. Other news from the week. Brandon Aiyuk of the 49ers officially requested a trade. I don't know where he'll end up, but there's some good places for him, depending on who wants to pay him. I think that's the biggest thing is Hey, I don't. There's not a lot of teams out there that are lining up to pay receivers $30 million,
Yeah, I don't think the Patriots would do that.
but I think the teams we were talking about earlier in the week, what the Colts, the Commanders,
another team. Totally spacing out on their name. Shit. The Jaguars.
Yeah, Jaguars is a good one. I feel like
Chargers.
I'd say that's the top three.
Chargers right there.
Top four, yeah.
People saying the Raiders. That's just dumb.
We'll see what happens. All right, and then flag football championships are this week. What do you want to say about that?
It's like the under 19, and then I think it's like 15, 16. Yeah, some of these kids are like insane athletes. Like, and with like when I was at Big Toe Media Day, they were talking about how like 20 colleges have adopted full-blown scholarships for flag football for girls. And it's already in the Olympics, and it's just growing so much. And now it's
I think it's up like 70% in like 4 years or something like that. Participation in women's flag football.
And the injury rate is very low. You get injured in flag football, you might just be doing too much.
I mean, it's usually just like soft tissue stuff.
It's like, okay, a torn ACL, that's like worst case scenario. And you might be doing too much. You got like a messed up elbow or like turf toe. You might be trying to tackle people on defense, and you're not supposed to be doing that. Or you're doing on offense where like, you got a running head start. So, you catch a pass, run into a defender, hit him with an elbow. Like, I watch people who are like overly aggressive in flag football, and they're just like, all right, I'm going to stay on the other side of the field because we're going to fight.
All right, well, that pretty much covers the things that we need to talk about.
Most important things of the week.
Let's talk about it.
So let's move on to college football. Kenny's got a lot of great stuff for us.
Yeah, interviewed about 60 players and coaches between Big 12 Media Day and Mountain West Media Day last week. And I found out I got accepted to go to Big 10 Media Day. Where will we at all next week? Thank you. I appreciate it. Far too kind. I just want to give some advice real quick to college journalism students out there. And honestly, anybody can use this in college. But journalism students, I need you to really lock in with me. And I'm grabbing your hand and talking to you like an affectionate uncle or whatever, someone you respect in life. I need you to understand. It is pivotal that get some PR friends. Get some people you're cool with in public relations. The public relations students, some of them already feel ostracized because they don't even like journalism. They love PR. And some people who are journalism majors shit on PR students and don't respect them. But you're going to need those people when you're trying to get credentials. Might even be looking for work. They might have something for you. Like they might be the pivot to help you, elevate or make a career switch. So I just want to let y'all know, like, be nice to PR people, be respectful, but most importantly, keep your word around PR people. Do what you say you're gonna do, because they notice that too. And when they notice you're professional and you're always showing up and you're doing the right things, willing to stick their neck out for you sometimes. So that is a very beneficial relationship that you need to appreciate and massage and take care of when you're in college. Be cool with PR people. Learn from each other, because y'all gonna need each other for the next 50 years. But anyway, off that, start Big 12 Media Day. Reviewed. I'm gonna stick out with the one interview that should I end with that one or should I start with that one? I'll start with that one. All right, so Kansas quarterback Jalen Daniels overcame, a really bad back injury last year. Couldn't really play. Affected his mental health. And he's back for his last year in Kansas. A Heisman candidate. It's fully his job. No more Jason Bean, though, so, didn't have... They won their bowl game last year. Jason Bean got some career redemption. It was beautiful. And now it's fully, it's Jalen's job. And his coach, Lance Leopold, was like, I only ask Jalen how he's doing once a week because I know everybody's always asking him how he's doing. How's the back? How's this? How's that? Try to just stay out of his face and all that. But coach spoke to how, pivotal of a leader he is and how vital he is to the program and everything. And not only that, they're not even going to be playing at home this year because, their stadium's getting renovated. So it's crazy. The seniors aren't even going to be playing in their new stadium or their old stadium. So I don't know how the hell that works, but it is what it is. So I'm going to play my interview with Kansas quarterback Jalen Daniels. Won a chip at Narbonne, a state title at Narbonne his sophomore year. Transferred to Lawndale. Learned how to play quarterback under Coach Clark, Travis Clark. Won a state title. And it was a beautiful moment because I interviewed this cat when he was a junior in high school. And to see him as a senior in college now, one, that made me feel old, but also it was just a beautiful moment because he recognized me first. I recognized him, but he called me out first. It was dope. So anyways, here's Jalen Daniels. How does it feel coming all the way from 405 high?
My guy.
Now being in the same position, win the state title junior year, now you can win whatever championships that are out there your senior year. How much is Coach Clark's voice still in your head?
Touchdowns and tangents, my guy. Trust me, I remember. To be able to be on that Lawndale High School team and be able to win state the first time in high school history was absolutely amazing because, it gets you prepared for the next level. I got the chance to be on the state championship team at Narbonne the year before, but being on that state championship team for 405 high school meant the world to me because we did it. A lot of people thought we would never get to that point. We would never make it out of the division that we were in to be able to get to state. So the fact that we were able to accomplish that mission, it was amazing.
And what does it do for you knowing you see Thule in the league? You got the guys in Washington, they're about to be ready for the league. What does that say for the South Bay and just, the development?
That there's guys there. Even the guys that you probably never heard of, they're still there. They may not be fully 5s or 4-star that everybody knows, but they're probably under the radar, and they're probably working with their heads down right now, just like we were. Nobody really knew me, Tully, EJ, Kales. Nobody really knew us like that. But now, EJ Kales is just on the national championship team that ended up going to the national championship. Tully's playing for the Chargers right now, and it was playing at USC. It was a 3-year starter. And now I'm being at the University of Kansas, and we're talking about Big 12 Big 12 championship hopefuls. 4 years ago, that was not the case. They were saying that we shouldn't even win 2-3 games my freshman year. So the fact that we've been able to make those many strides, it's amazing.
And when you look at that back injury, you have to learn how to play quarterback coming from Narbonne. That was a lot. Now you transform to where you're at now, NFL prospect. What was that journey like? And with the back injury, how did that make you even more cerebral?
You have to realize how you should play quarterback. As far as when I was at Lawndale, we did a lot of quarterback runs. In college, you can't sit here and run the ball all day at quarterback. And there's a lot of guys who are way bigger than you and are probably just about as fast as you. I remember my first time freshman year going against Baylor, there was DNs who from Haas to sideline were there. And quite frankly, in high school, that was not the case. If I wanted to get out of the pocket, I could. So being able to learn the game as a college quarterback was different from being able to go out there in high school and play quarterback and win a state championship, being able to just go out there and play and not have to worry about people tackling me everywhere.
And NIL, obviously, it's a lot going on. Communities, every city, every team is different with how they handle NIL. How have you handled it? How have you, what ideas has it given you to give back?
So I've been blessed with the opportunity to be able to, give the Kansas football team headphones. I've been blessed with the opportunity to be able to go back to my sister's high school and be able to donate money to their athletic program. I've been blessed with the opportunity to be able to go to my church and be able to donate them money as well. I mean, when we're talking about people who gave to me, I've been given the chance to be able to give to them now. So my mom has always taught me, give to those who poured into you. And quite frankly, my sisters, my church family, everybody has done so much to be able to help me get to where I'm at today. It allows me to be able to have that mindset.
Some lasting advice you would give to the next Jalen Daniels out there?
Stay where your feet are. Never let outside noise get inside your head. Lean on those who you're closest to, because at the end of the day, those are the ones who will care about you the most. And stay true to yourself. Do not let outside noise change who you are as a man.
Jalen, you guys got 4 or 5
Good seeing you again, my guy.
I just want to say first, that's dope that he remembered you. Second off, he sounds exactly like Coach Clark.
It's scary, right?
Yeah, he sounds exactly like Coach Clark.
Him and Leopold, like the tone and delivery, like the
cadence, the emphasis, the
inflection.
Yeah, the inflection. Yeah.
Looking me right in the eyes, and then he dapped me up at the end. I was like, this man, just one day we're gonna have to do a 30 for 30 on Coach Clark, because like everybody who played under him sounds just like him. It's cool. It's cool to see that. And I should have asked him, how does it feel to be in the video game? But whatever. In the moment, you're just asking questions in the media scrum, trying to get off as many as you can. But
that's one way to do it for sure.
I think they were favorite to be like top 4 in the Big 12. So, and running back Neal said he's the best running back in the country. I talked to one of their defensive.
He looked like the best one against you in NCAA last night.
Hey, shut up.
That 21 piece, he had all
the
3
tackling
scores.
is terrible, but the play call, Kansas is filthy.
I scored on a stretch, I scored on a screen, and I scored on a fucking wheel route, bro.
Yeah, that was the only person who was going off, which is crazy, because it's like, yeah, when I was talking to Jalen, he was like, man, our coaches have so many different like offensive philosophies we play with, like y'all don't even know what's coming. And for the past like 3 years, they've always had a trick play or some really cool, unique motion. So Kansas is definitely Big 12 football is going to be some of the best football to watch, because the offensive ingenuity is fantastic, and they be putting defensive coordinators in hell every week. All right,
Next.
all righty then. 12. I was going. Oh yeah, Arizona's quarterback and receiver tandem of Noah Fafita and Tutorio McMillan. Gonna let this rock. It's a 2-parter. It's pretty much both of them talking.
Kind of pretty much took over leadership of this team. Probably you could say before the USC game until the bowl game. What was that process like for you?
For me, it was just trust and patience. Trusting that my time would eventually come, and then being patient that when my time does come, I'd be ready. So that's just kind of how my dad was kind of just helping me, raise me, and kind of helped me throughout the year. So it was tough to be patient for a year and a half, but at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. God doesn't make mistakes, and I'm blessed to be where I'm at now.
And being that, you got T-Mac, everybody coming back, was it harder to convince, T-Mac and those guys to stay, or were you like the last piece? They're like, okay, I'm not leaving, so they know they're not leaving?
No, we were all in it together for sure. Obviously, anytime you lose a coach is tough, especially when it's a coach that recruited you to the school. So it was a hectic week for sure. But, I mean, we all made this decision together. So we had a lot of team meetings, a lot of player-run meetings. We met with Coach Brennan, so it was a team decision. To be honest, T-Mac made the decision first. He was the one that kind of said from the beginning that he didn't want to leave. And then for me, my mind was all over the place. So that's just kind of where we were.
And then with NIL, obviously things are booming. They probably told you evaluations, like how much you're worth in the market, whatever, but like how much have you kind of had to leverage and really kind of figure out your path and how you want to handle NIL and sponsorships, not only for you, but for teammates, the community you're from?
To be honest, I didn't start playing this game for money, and still to this day, it's not about money. Oh, wow. My bad, that caught me off. I got to talk into this? Everybody gonna hear me right now. So I didn't really start playing this game for money. So obviously it's a blessing being able to live in this day and age with NIL. But for us, it was just staying together, keeping this team together, keeping the core guys together, and that's what we were able to do, which is why we stayed.
And how much, whether it's a weight or a privilege, being a Polynesian quarterback, being one of the best players in the country,
Facts,
representing your community, how does that feel, and how do you manage that on a day-to-day basis?
It's a blessing. It's something that I'm honored to kind of have that reputation. And just for all the little Polynesian kids kind of looking up to me, as well as Filipino kids, it's a blessing. It's kind of, I used to look up to guys as well. So being able to be in that position now, it's a blessing and something I don't take lightly.
The person who said facts, that was Tatoya McMillan. Here's some stuff he had to say.
T-Max, when you chose to make the decision to come back, you were the first one. How has the team followed behind your leadership since then?
I wouldn't necessarily think I wouldn't necessarily say that they followed behind me, but they just followed their heart and they trusted in Coach Brennan and the culture that we had already set, and they just felt comfortable. They felt like this is home and felt like the right decision in their heart. And at the end of the day, money speaks loud, but that's only temporary happiness. Our relationship that we built in the locker room this past year, you can't break that. So I think a big part of it was just the brotherhood and the relationship that we built.
Who's the best hooper on the team? Who's the best hooper? Who's the best gamer?
Best hooper, I'll give it to Nalo. He's the best hooper. The best gamer, I'm gonna give it the best gamer to Jonah, Big Jonah. Savaina. I think he's probably the best gamer.
For coaches, I got Willie Fritz. He was a coach at Tulane, led them to a bunch of new heights. They beat USC in the Cotton Bowl a couple years ago. He sent a bunch of dudes to the NFL. Yeah, going from Louisiana to Texas. Houston, to be exact.
Kevin Barry, touchdown standings. Coach, you built a prestigious program at Tulane. Now, coming to Houston, how do you kind of maintain some of the intangibles that you helped elevate that program to this one, on top of trying to replace, second round pick of Patrick Paul?
When you take over a program, I've had a few different programs. This will be the 6th program that I've been a head coach at, and there's some similarities, but there's also a lot of differences. So you have some non-negotiables with how you do things with your football program, and then you've got to do a good job of learning about University of Houston and what works at Houston might not necessarily work at one of the other places I was at, or vice versa. So I'm really trying to promote our strengths at the University of Houston. We're a Tier 1 academic institution. The president has done an outstanding job of increasing enrollment. We've got 48,000. And then the other part that I think is so center of football in the world, Houston, Texas. I didn't have to get on a plane to go recruit. I just stayed in my car the whole time when I went out recruiting, and there's plenty of great players throughout the state of Texas. Patrick Paul, we're very proud of him. 2nd-round draft pick. That's going to be a position that we're going to have to do a good job with the guys we have there, offensive line. Starting starter Tank Jenkins, but I got about 7 or 8 guys that are competing for those other 4 spots on the offensive line.
Shift over to Mount West Media Day.
You don't want to play one more, Coach?
Sure. Gus Malzahn. Coach, obviously you bring in KJ. How do you speak to just the value of what he brings as a quarterback? Because throughout your coach career, you always had a guy at quarterback who was just, he had something about him. So what does he bring on the field, and how has he kind of, definitely improved from since he was at Arkansas?
Well, he definitely fits what we like to do. He's a dual threat guy. He throws a great deep ball. You're talking about one of the more experienced quarterbacks in all of college football. And, 2 years previous to last year, he was one of the better players, offensive players in the SEC. Last year, they changed offenses. They lost some playmakers around him and all that. But we're really excited to have him. We think he's a perfect fit for us. We're glad he's leading us.
Gus Malzahn also said that in terms of all the quarterbacks he's coached, KJ is like the only one kind of compared to Cam Newton of his size and athletic ability. And KJ pretty much said in terms of who he models his game after, he thinks Joe Burrow has the best feet of any quarterback in the league, and then Mahomes. As far as just like, feet in the pocket and footwork drills and everything, he's like, it's definitely Burrow. So, yeah. On to the Mountain West.
Before you shift to the Mountain West, why don't you talk a little bit kind of like what your experience was at both pro days, like how they were kind of different? Why don't you set up the scene a little bit?
Sure. So for Big 12 Media Day, it was pretty much 120 degrees outside in Vegas the whole time I was there. Insanely murderously hot. I don't know why I walked from the Luxor to Allegiant. I don't know why I did that.
That's fucking wild. In 120 degrees heat, did you have a fucking parasail?
I was chilling. I didn't really feel the heat.
Did you have a hat?
Nope.
You're crazy, bro.
I was wearing black
pants.
That was
crackhead activity, bro. That was crackhead activity.
Nah.
Yes, that is, bro. The only other person walking with you was a crackhead, bro.
Nah, but
there was one on the other side of the street.
I did look over an overpass, and it was a dude under a bridge smoking, and I was like, I mean, if you're going to be high out your mind in this heat, you might as well be high out your mind in this heat. But nah, I was drinking water the whole time. I stayed hydrated.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy.
Had I been outside about 5 more minutes, my ass would have looked like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Continue.
But anyway, yeah, the ambiance was great. It felt like a real big presentation. They had like one whole section of the field. Like it was a locker room situation with college football, 20 EA Sports College Football 25. They had players in jerseys come out. They had lockers with like individual schools jerseys and mementos and all that, and a bunch of helmets set up everywhere. They had ESPN kind of like college football, like they're reporting live from in there. They used the whole field for Allegiant Stadium. It was very well put together and very well professional. And Brett Yormark is definitely, he stated that, because it wasn't even supposed to be in Vegas. It was supposed to be in Texas, but it was a last-minute change they had to make. And he said, honestly, I think this is for the best, and we're going to keep a foothold in Vegas, and we definitely want to venture out into the West Coast. I also asked him about, he's the WWE works with the Big 12. They have their NIL program to where they find D1 athletes and see if they can turn them into professional wrestlers. And that's very lucrative for like the Cavender twins, who were back playing basketball for one last year. They got like, I think, $1 million NIL deal. So they were pretty much just talking about a lot of the progressive things they've done. They got like $9 billion in
Okay,
Not
you
many
still didn't
impressions.
answer the question though.
No,
You're
I'm
on a
saying it was
tangent.
like a huge production. Like everything about it felt like a big production everywhere you went.
I got it. Now compare that to the Mountain West.
Mountain West has always been more intimate with a lot of access. All the access you could want. Like, I was in there talking with Jeff Tebber for like 10 minutes. And he just announced that he had to step down and retire as head coach of Fresno State because of health issues. So I think it's only right to, play the last interview. One of the last interviews you ever hear with Jeff Tedford. So I'd say Mountain West, they're both great in their own right, but Big 12 definitely lets you know, like, no, we got Rock Nation money. We're doing it big. We're a top 3 conference. They definitely left no doubt. Mountain West, it's like going into a bar where everybody knows your name, like your family there. It's kind of like in some aspects. The best parts of the Bayer that aren't toxic, you can just bottle that up like the Mountain West is at, where like everybody knows each other. Some people are in Hawaii, some people are in San Jose, some people are in Nevada, Montana, whatever. So people get together. It's like it's a really wholesome time. There's no real time ever being wasted. So that's nice.
Play the clip.
Yep. Let me find it. I'm scrolling. Jeff Tedford.
See, last year, you had Brady Hoke here, Craig Bowl. You see a lot of your contemporaries, retiring, moving on to different phases of their lives. What's it like being truly the elder statesman of this conference?
Well, I don't really look at it like that. To tell you the truth, it's, I've enjoyed my time with all those coaches. We've had great relationships over the years, and it comes time for everybody, for whatever reasons, to move on sometimes. There's been a lot of coaches coach a long, long time. And there's a lot of great young coaches in our conference as well. So I'm just happy for the time that I've had to spend with all those people. And now to get to know some young guys is great. But some of us have been doing this a long, long time. And the landscape of college football has changed tremendously.
How has the Fresno community kind of helped use NIL to kind of like really help the program?
To use what?
How has the Fresno community used NIL in their own way to kind of help the team, the community, and how have players kind of paid it forward?
Yeah, well, I think with the NIL situation, we're engaged in it, and I think our fans and our supporters are becoming more educated to it. I think NIL and the portal is as much about retaining players as it is going out and getting players. If we have a need and we want to play in the portal game, that's our choice. But to retain players, we have to be engaged to retain our players. And so we've done a decent job of that. But I think our community and our supporters are becoming more educated to what the process is all about. The one thing I do want to say, it's not all, I think, a misconception, it's all give. It's not. The players need to have a deliverable. They have to do something for that. I think it's an opportunity to teach financial literacy, let them understand what taxes are all about. It gives them a little bit more bit of responsibility to what's going on, which maybe they may not have that until after they get out of college. But I still think it's important that as a program internally, we make sure and continue to teach responsibility and the importance of being financially responsible, and that the degree is still the most important thing they can have.
And with like COVID, obviously a lot of the 6th, 7th year guys in the 8th year, a lot of them are kind of slowly on their way out, but nobody really talks about those freshmen who maybe only played 2 years of high school, maybe even 3, and have to deal with that. How do you kind of ingratiate them in, knowing that they have a unique case that not many people have, while also getting them ready to be a part of the program?
Well, I think it depends on who you're talking about. I think it's on an individual basis, right? Yes. Did they have major challenges? I felt bad for a lot of those kids who went through that time, because some of them didn't get recruited as heavily as they should. There was There wasn't a lot of guidance through it because coaches weren't going through their programs. It was a very difficult time. But now, I don't really I don't use that as a crutch to say this kid's coming in, he was there during COVID. We're going to bring him in and we're going to coach and we're going to teach and we're going to guide and with every kid, no matter what their background or situation was. Is there maybe what you're talking about, maybe a bigger learning curve because they didn't have a chance? Yes, and so you have to take each case, I think, individually, and whether they're COVID or not, each kid needs to be looked at individually. What's their best learning style? How are they motivated the best? What's their background look like? All those type of things. What's their learning curve for growth and development? One of the things we talk about a lot, or that I talk to our coaches a lot about, is not pigeonholing players. Meaning they come in and you get the first perception of them, and that's what you think they are forever. It's not. Next year you have to give them room to grow and develop mentally, physically, emotionally. The whole bit, So it's a process. All to me, coaching college football is a process, taking 17-year-old to 24-year-old kids and hopefully maybe give them the best experience they can possibly have.
And with all your experience, what's easier to identify going into the season? The character of your team, whether, adversity hits them or not, or just the team's identity?
I would say both. I mean, I think you have a pretty good understanding of what the identity is through camp. Character, I think, is something that everybody starts out with, but character is kind of shown when adversity hits. You may think you have the greatest character, but you never know until adversity strikes sometimes. But I'm so proud of our kids on, knock on wood. Our kids are very successful on the football field. We had a 990 APR. They're doing a great job in the classroom. Our team GPA is a 3.3. You don't see our kids making poor decisions off the field and in the news and the newspapers, things like that. So when someone asks me about the culture, I'll tell you our culture is very strong because I think our kids are disciplined and they try to learn all the time, right? And so I'm very proud of everything about our program, right? I mean, do we have the best of every single thing, all the bells and whistles? No. But our kids are blue-collar, and they come to work every single day, and they love doing what they're doing. They love their coaching staff, and they're motivated. So I think we have a very good culture. But, I think adversity kind of brings out true character in most people.
Right, this next one, Coach Timmy Chang, Hawaii, former Hawaii legend, played football there. And yeah, just gonna enjoy this.
All your experience, what's easier to identify? Your team's character, on a day-to-day versus their identity?
What's easier to, what's the question?
It's easier to kind of figure out your team's character, on a day-to-day basis, whether adversity hits them or not, or, the identity going into the season of the team.
A great question. I think both are important. What your identity is something that you got to live out every single day, right? You don't just turn on your identity. It's something that is woven into you. It's who I am as a coach. It's what I'm putting out there, and so it's getting those guys to follow it. Their character is going to show as well every day, right? The decisions that they make. What's important, what do they value, and how they do their things, and so I think they're closely similar together, but it's going to be a representation of who we are as a program, as me as a coach, and then what they're doing every day and the choices they make.
And oh shit, that sounds out of whack. All right. He also said that nobody spoke with him in EA Sports College Football 25. He made that like abundantly clear. He's like, nobody on this team wants to smoke. They know better. All right. Also,
well, he was low key good in the game back in the day. He always won the fucking Heisman in my dynasty modes.
I actually played the wrong audio, but it's cool. Like, cause he's rebuilding that program. It's like a vital year for Hawaii. Like Logan Taylor, who tore his ACL, he gets him back for one more year. Best linebacker, probably their best defensive player. So, and they got a quarterback in Brandon Traeger, who didn't get lowered away out the portal. So that's kind of big.
Yeah, play a player now.
All right. So I'm going to play Boise State All-American edge rusher.
You're going to play the kicker.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Jonah Dumas. My bad. He's pretty much on pace to break literally the all-time NCAA scoring record. He's very close.
What we doing?
Kenneth, nice to meet you.
Jonah, nice to meet you.
So, pretty much on the cusp of history, kicking-wise. How's that process been? And have you had a chance to really kind of enjoy all of it? Because obviously, kick field goals, you're just focused on the next kick.
Right.
But knowing you're this close, how does that feel?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, I think about it, and I just see it as a great blessing and opportunity that's, kind of in hindsight for me. But I just focus on, one game at a time, and my mentality is to make an impact for the Boise State Broncos. But obviously, with that record ahead in front of me, it's definitely a blessing and a great opportunity to have.
And, you get the highest rated recruits in Boise State history coming in, former USC QB,
right?
Former Ole Miss QB receiver. And I think your punter tweeted, like, let me get to play time too. Like,
yeah.
How has that offense looked, especially with Gentry and everybody? And how excited are you to kind of be trying out there for an extra point?
Absolutely. We have a lot of really great offensive guys that have come in, and I think that our football team is really we're ready and excited to take it to the next level. I think we have a lot of offensive guys that have come in that are going to make a huge impact to our football team. So, yeah, just the excitement is real. I think we're going to be scoring a lot of touchdowns, and I feel like we'll be hitting a lot of PATs, so it's going to be exciting.
I talked to Danielson before the LA Bowl, and I was like, Idaho finally has an In-N-Out. Are you guys working on getting an In-N-Out sponsorship? He's like, honestly, yeah, I want one for the whole team. Like, how have you guys kind of approached that? And is there, have you got a favorite restaurant, whatever, you somehow work up some kind of sponsorship deal?
Yeah.
Would you do it?
I don't know the ins and outs of all the sponsorships that Boise State has or are trying to get, but I know that the people of Boise are super excited to have an In-N-Out burger, and the people, they've been loving it. So I'd say definitely that's one of my favorite spots in Boise to go to currently is In-N-Out burger for sure.
What's your top three for someone who's not a local and it's not a chain restaurant?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I feel like we have a lot of really good restaurants there. Gosh, I got to think. There's a place called the Yard House in the Village that's really good. We got the Matador in the Village that's really good. I would say the Village in Meridian is just a hot spot for all those restaurants. So if you're, someone that hasn't visited Boise before, obviously downtown Boise is a good spot, but the Village in Meridian is also a good spot too. There's a lot of really good restaurants, so I can't really think of it on the top of my head.
Definitely. Do you have any hidden talents? Because obviously kickers, punters, there's always some kind of hidden talent. You're really good at golf or some random. What's yours?
Yeah, I'm getting really good at golf at the moment. I've been golfing a lot, but my hidden talent is that I don't know a lot of people know is I'm a drummer, and I play the ukulele too. And I grew up in a musical family, so I grew up playing a lot of these instruments, and so I would say that's a hidden talent that most people don't know.
Sweet. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
His whole family, he was being modest. His whole family was literally in a rock band. I think it was a Christian rock band. And he's been playing instruments and he was 5. That's kind of crazy. One last one from Utah State's head coach that his wife actually beat cancer 2 months ago. He just took the job over. Blake Anderson pretty much like got kicked out the program for things that he was doing and got in trouble for. And a lot of the players at media day were talking about it, and they were pissed off and annoyed that like they have to kind of keep answering for, you know, what he did now that he's no longer associated with the program. But their coach gave a very impassioned answer. So this will be the last one. The biggest thing from Mountain West Media Day, they worked the company that helped them get their TV deal at TNT is Endeavor. So not only are they going to TNT and the CW a couple times, but I think that they're like the first football conference to actually be on TNT since like 2004, some crazy ass number like that. So there's that. And
posted on social media too, right?
No, that was a different one.
Question. You had a couple of them.
Nate Drayling.
So in regards to just how you're kind of molding the program and what you want, whether it's the identity or just the culture, how do you kind of balance the emotions and, you know, the mentality, being a head coach, first year, taking over the program and all that?
Kenneth, that's a great question. And here's honestly what I've been doing because, you know, you guys have probably been to Logan more than I have. I've only been here for 5 or 6 months. So, like, what identity do we want? I know at the end result, you know, when this thing is over with, I want the community to say, man, that's a product on the field that they are proud of. So right now, I'm honestly reaching out to everyone in the community to kind of hear what their vision is. You know, I know what I want. I want toughness. I want high character. I want high football IQ, right? I want kids playing with passion. But at the same time, like, what does this fan base want? What do the stakeholders want, right? And make sure it's not just my image, right, but the image that the Utah State fan base wants as well.
And you talk about image, NIL. How's the community kind of supported that? And as far as character goes, what have the players shown you in their character? Because obviously they're the incumbents. And how do you kind of transition them into where you want them to go? Especially even like the freshmen, whether they have to deal with COVID and they're still dealing with the learning curve for college. How do you manage all that?
Yeah. Kenneth, what we have and what has made this situation awesome is a very mature group. We have players, maybe they haven't been at Utah State the whole time, but, I mean, our quarterback's almost older than me, right? So we have guys that have been around the block and can handle situations like this. But even in that, right, they can help groom the younger guys as well. It is a young team. It's kind of very young or very old where we're at right now. So it's kind of cool where these guys can help mold the younger generation, right, and get them up into the standard that we want.
How are the alumni kind of ingratiating you? Even like, obviously, you know, you got Chuck Keaton, you got Bobby Wagner, Robert Turbin, even how have some of the alumni kind of, you know, giving you some advice or even reached out?
Yeah. So I had a great talk with Turbin last night, and what an awesome human being that is. And he's actually calling the Utah game for us, so I'm going to have him speak to the team before. He even talked about he might even be on the back with the mascot on the Harley coming out for the corn toss. I don't know. We're going to have something for that guy. But the whole fan base has been good. The community outreach has been nothing short of amazing. You know, stuck in the middle of this whole thing is a bunch of players that just want to play the game of football, right? Enjoy the Logan community. So they understand that that's the utmost importance, right? And that's the same priority for me. Turbin last night, and what an awesome human being that is. And he's actually calling the Utah game for us, so I'm going to have him speak to the team before. He even talked about he might even be on the back with the mascot on the Harley coming out for the corn toss. I don't know. We're going to have something for that guy. But the whole fan base has been good.
That was just the same thing. I don't know why I played twice.
But yes, thoughts on media days and what you're looking forward to next week?
It's going to be 18 teams. Big Ten Media Day was 16 at Big 12. And then I think it was like 12 to, I think it was like 12 to 14 for, I want to say 12 for Mountain West. And ironically, Oregon State and Washington State had their little Pac-12 powwow after dark or whatever. Why they did that at the Bellagio, I guess, to prove like, hey, we're still here, and it's like, it's kind of sad. But hey, they tried to handle it the best they could. But yeah, Big Ten Media Day is going to be massive. Oregon, with all the things they've been doing with NIL, and Phil Knight saying they have an unlimited NIL budget, and all the 5 stars, all the recruits they got, Dillon Gabriel, Evan Stewart, Muhammad, the Washington corner. It's going to be a lot, and obviously USC. It's going to be very interesting to see who keeps throwing pot shots at USC, because Paul Feinbaum kept doing it at SEC Media Day, which is kind of weird because it's like, bro, you don't even cover the team. Like, why do you keep kicking in Lincoln Riley's back and USC's back in particular? Like, I don't know. But it should be a very interesting time. But
All right, first up, take or tangent. The Broncos make Meinerz the highest paid guard with a 4-year, $80 million deal. Take or tangent, Kenny.
This might be the smartest decision that the Broncos have made since the team got sold. I think it's Graham Meinerz. He was a D3 offensive lineman. He didn't even have a senior year because COVID took that out. And then he was at the Senior Bowl, and he dominated people and had a great combine and everything. I think he was at Division III Wisconsin Whitewater, if I'm not mistaken. The gut, great mullet, and he was literally just how he would practice. He literally was just punching trees in the forest. Like, that's how he was. That's some of the video that he had and how he was getting prepared and everything. So, the best offensive lineman they have on that team, and they lost a couple guys in free agency. They can't really afford to lose him. You know, you got a rookie QB and Bo Nix. You need a guard like that who's been playing at a Pro Bowl level, maybe even All Pro level.
Yeah, I don't know what the guarantee money is, and I don't know what the cap hit is. So the cap hit is probably like $12 million, something like that, 12 to like 16.
$45 million guaranteed. So he's like top 5.
But yeah, I will say, I don't know if it makes sense to pay a guard $20 million, especially if his cap is like over 12% of your whole team's roster. But hey, I mean, I think you laid out all the reasons why you do the deal. I just don't really know what the Broncos are doing in general.
Rewarding the good players.
So it's kind of hard for me to just be like, yeah, lock in your guard for 4 years because, like,
you had Russell Wilson in.
Yeah, and also they traded some guys, let some guys go. They kept some guys. Like, I really just don't know what that team's doing. So I don't know if locking up a guard is the best move, but I think the reasons you laid out don't make it a bad move. For me, I don't know if guard is a premium enough position for me to pay one that much, especially if I'm not already a guaranteed contender. Because, I mean, even on the Super Bowl teams, like, the first players to leave are usually the guards because they usually cash out somewhere else.
Yeah, they do.
All right, next one. Hard Knocks exposing how the Giants treated Saquon during contract negotiations. Take or tangent. I didn't see that, so this one's all you.
They did him pretty shitty. They're like, we got a role for you pretty much. We don't know what's out there for you, but you can go see, and then we can come back and talk about it. pretty much playing in that man's face. Like, Daniel Jones got all this money that should have gone to Saquon, and they could have got rid of Daniel Jones and actually got a quarterback. But you don't want to build your offense around a running back because I guess, like, you had Tiki Barber PTSD. I don't know. They just talked about Saquon like he wasn't shit. Didn't really offer him anything, you know? So he did what he did. He got the deal from the Eagles. And now they're over here with Malik Neighbors and Daniel Jones, who's reported he will be ready for training camp. Helpless, but it's like he just looked like shit his whole career. He's never really.
No, he had that above average year 2 years ago.
What was the record?
They made the playoffs.
And who's the driving force on why they made the playoffs? Saquon.
I mean, he also got hurt that year, but yeah,
Saquon.
he was
Their defense.
mainly their defense.
They had no receivers. The receivers they did have, they didn't throw the ball. Like, so my thing is, this dude has never looked like a transcendent player. They just show that, he had a 60-yard run. Like, okay, and his clumsy ass tripped on the way to the end zone. I'm pretty sure Lamar wouldn't have tripped. Pretty sure. Hell, Baker Mayfield wouldn't have tripped and fell. All I'm saying is, like, people were just hyping up Daniel Jones, and it's just never been a thing. It's just has he even made a Pro Bowl yet?
I don't think anyone's hyped up Daniel Jones.
They paid him all that
They
money.
just talk about him, but that's only because he's in New York and because he's making all that money. But
yeah, so if
I don't think anybody is.
No, I'm saying the Giants.
I don't even know if
hyped this
Daniel
up.
Jones' self-talk is being at the table for Daniel Jones.
The
like that.
Giants hyped it up, is what I'm saying. They hyped it up, and then they
Well,
get on Hard Knocks and get exposed.
the crazy thing is they won with the fucking Tony Cipriani, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, I just
Wow.
called him some generic Italian name.
I don't even think that's Italian. You just made that. His name's Tommy DeVito. You
I know.
racist.
I know.
I just had to call you racist because that was racist. Yeah.
Definitely was. 1,000 was. 1,000% was.
That was wild.
All right.
Capriati. You thought of the sandwich place. That's why you said Capriati.
Kyle Gesicki said he wants to play football in the next Olympics. Take or tangent.
Kyle Gesicki?
Yeah, that's what I said. Gesicki.
You mean Mike Gesicki? The tight end?
The fullback. The only fullback.
Kyle Juszczyk?
Juszczyk,
Jesus
whatever.
Christ. Holy fuck.
Juszczyk, whatever. Gesicki, Juzecki.
No, bro. That's two different names. Gesicki, Juszczyk.
I didn't say Gesicki. You said Gesicki. I said Juszczyk. I combined the two, sure.
Yeah, it's like you
but
said
I didn't say
it's like you said
Gesicki.
Antonio Villaraigosa. You just combined somebody's two names that aren't real.
I actually did say that before, though.
But no, Antonio Villaraigosa actually used
No, I actually did say Antonio Virgosa before.
Yeah, but I'm saying he used his ex-wife's last name.
Yeah, you've talked about this like 30,000 times. Thank you.
LA politics, history lesson for y'all. He was a shitty mayor. Anyway. Yeah, I just think teams are getting exposed for just their terrible decisions. And I'm here to see it in Hard
That
Knocks.
wasn't the question. We moved on from that. Pay attention.
Nah, you brought me back to that. I don't know why. I don't know why I went back to the Giants. Sorry. Repeat the question again.
Oh, Juszczyk, the fullback.
Stop saying it like
at
that.
the Niners.
You're throwing me off when you say that. It's like my brain resets.
At the Niners, the fullback with the Niners says he wants to play in the flag football in the Olympics.
You would put people on loud packs. You played running back in college. You played running back and tight end in college. Mostly running back.
I mean, realistically,
he would smoke.
Is there really a better player for flag football than a converted running back into a fullback? Because
/ tight end.
You can use him as a tight end. You can use him as a running back. You can probably use him at center. You could play linebacker or safety on defense.
Edge rusher.
Maybe even edge rusher. So, yeah, you pretty much got a utility player for 6 different positions.
It's a Swiss Army knife.
And furthermore, he can't be any worse than whatever the fuck we were putting out in that flag football championship.
That tackle football game?
Yeah, whatever the fuck that was.
That was a disgrace. They should not be allowed back in America.
So, yeah.
Bro,
I'm for
if
it.
I would have known we were having workouts, I would have.
I think he'll be too old though. He'll be like 35 by then, 36.
He's still cooking people, bro. NFL athletes are a different breed. You think T.O. right now wouldn't smoke everybody walking? Randy
For
Moss,
sure.
you still can't cover
For sure.
Randy Moss. If you think you can cover Randy Moss right now.
All right,
man
last
played all
one
up here
for this
his whole life.
segment. Devontae Adams. Trade rumors, they've been going around all week. The receiver show dropped. Basically, there was this whole scene where Devontae Adams during the Lions game threw his helmet. He was pissed off.
I gotta get the fuck
Jimmy
out of
G
here.
missed. Jimmy G threw a ball that almost got him killed, which he should have been used to because he played with Derek Carr for like 8 years. But I digress. He also was wide open and got totally missed by Aiden O'Connell. Just frustration. Said he needed to get the fuck out of there. And somehow, all these media folks took that completely out of context, and 8 months later are like, "Yeah, Devontae wants a trade from the Raiders." So take your tangent.
The Niners.
Take a tangent.
It's the interview with Devontae and Club Shay Shay came out like 2 days ago.
Yeah, that was the most recent development where he said he was locked in.
He clarified
But
things.
he still kind of glazed Aaron Rodgers, which was weird.
He was like, if anybody I'm going to reunite with is going to be Aaron Rodgers. So, like, I mean, yeah, I don't think if the Raiders are trash.
That's like saying I love my bitch right now, but if I could fuck any bitch, it'd be this bitch back then.
Are you?
I'm just saying, like, it just sounds weird.
I know. I'm just going to move on from that example and say.
Oh, but you can make toxic masculine fucking metaphors. But when I do.
Is it toxic if you actually did it or didn't do it?
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I didn't do that. But all right.
That's why I said, like, if you say it, it's almost like, wait, did you do it? Whereas if I say it, it's like, you can't prove I did or didn't do it. But the fact that I did it, I'm like, Kenny's guilty because he said it. But anyway.
That's just you projecting on me, but go ahead.
No, that's me saying, like, if I say some wild shit, it's like, what's wrong with Kenny? Is this CTE acting up today? But anyway.
So that's your nice way of saying I'm a bigger scumbag than you. So when I make toxic masculine analogies, people automatically assume that I did him. Versus you, it's like, oh, haha, Kenny's just dumb. That's pretty much what you just said.
No, like Kenny said some funny foul shit, some out of pocket shit.
I'd say only like 40% of the out of pocket shit.
That's fine, but it's one big bubble of funny out of pocket, and then it just depends.
Two different buckets. There's two different buckets.
No, sometimes I accidentally cross streams, and it's funny and fucked up, and then I have a conversation with myself afterwards, like, should I have said that? Sometimes that's how it goes.
I digress. Back to Devontae.
No, sometimes it plays true, like that wasn't funny.
Back to Devontae Adams.
Anyway. Speaking of not funny, yeah, it wouldn't be funny if Devontae got traded to the Jets because I'm pretty sure Garrett Wilson would be ready outside with brass knuckles on, ready to fight somebody. Because that means, like, bro, I'm already not getting the ball enough, and now you're going to bring Devontae here? And I would be like, if I'm Garrett Wilson, I'm not kowtowing to Devontae. I'm the best receiver on this team, and I'm faster than you, bro. Wide receiver number one. And Breece Hall is running back one. And Aaron Rodgers is QB one. So, like, that would be already a messy situation anyway if Devontae got traded. Because if I'm the Raiders, if I'm trading you Devontae, you got to give me Garrett Wilson. Like, let's talk cash shit here. Or give me Breece Hall. Like, what are we talking? Like, you're not just going to have Devontae and Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and Aaron Rodgers, and I'm over here at Raiders looking stupid with a first-round pick that won't mean shit if y'all go on a run. So those trade talks with Devontae are dumb. They're stupid, not funny, and it's really played out, and it's lazy journalism, honestly.
But, yeah, I already kind of slated my opinion in setting up the topic, but, yeah, I think it's just crazy that people really just took someone in the heat of the moment in what was low key probably the lowest point of his professional career, took that moment and just completely escalated it out of context and just applied it to right now. When the reality is, since that time, he's already had a new coach. He's getting a new offensive playbook. He's got new colleagues, co-stars, whatever around him. And, oh, yeah, it's a new season, 0-0. So, to Kenny's point, it's lazy, it's annoying, and it's boring. That if the season does go to the shithole and the Raiders still don't make a move for a quarterback, then yeah, I'm all for trading Devontae just because he is on the other side of 30 and he did come here to win. And if he's not winning, then yeah, he should go somewhere where he can win. Because even before he was a Raider, I was a big Devontae fan. And I would like to see him get a chance at that Lombardi. And also, the last thing I'll say is if they are trading him, they need to be getting something good back. Not just draft capital, but they need to get a starter and some draft capital. And further, in this scenario where things do go shitty, believe me, Devontae Adams is not going to be the only one looking for a new team. And he's not going to be the scapegoat. He's going to be the person who gets out ahead of it, but he's not going to be the one to blame. Looking at you, AP.
Max Crosby going to be up out of there, too.
Yep.
Because, they're twin flying. So they really wore the same outfit on game day multiple times.
Yeah, and people didn't talk about the fact that
shout out George Kittle, too.
That Devontae and Max and Spillane did that whole little rookie camp, just kind of breaking it, educating the players on, what it means to be a Raider, on transitioning to a pro, invited all the rookies, undrafted guys, etc. Just really setting the tone as leaders and just showing that they're locked in. I mean, Max did the whole pass rusher summit. So it's like, clearly Devontae is locked into being a Raider, regardless of what he thinks about the quarterback situation. He's saying all the right things publicly. How he feels privately might be different. But either way, he's doing what he needs to do as far as showing face. And people should focus on that because that's the news. That's new. The Lions game, that's old. That's a whole different precedent. Team. Whole different precedent. So, yeah. All right, touchdown or turnover. Jason Wright is no longer the Commanders' president. He's in a senior advisor role and will leave the franchise at the end of the year. Touchdown or turnover?
I feel like this is a turnover, even though maybe this was his role all along to get the franchise going out of the hell it was in and in a different direction. But it's kind of like there's not a lot of black team presidents in the NFL, especially one with the racist history that the formerly known as the Redskins had. And you guy who, a black man who's team president, led them out of, I guess you could say, some kind of NFC East purgatory, gets you the Heisman winner and a franchise QB. Somehow, yeah, you get rid of Chase Young and Montez Sweat, but you got Jahan Dotson, you got Terry McLaurin, you built a team around this franchise QB, and now he's just going to be no longer associated with the organization after this season. That's kind of crazy to me. You're like, maybe this is what he wanted. Will he ever get another job on the league again? Who knows? But I think that's just interesting that would be the case.
But yeah, just for some more context here. So he served as a team president from 2020 to 2023. He previously played in the league for about 6 years. He's actually from Upland, which is interesting. Played at Diamond Bar. So did he play with, didn't somebody else go to Diamond Bar? Did Cedric Ellis go there? Or he might have went to the other school that played them. I think that would be around the same timeline. 2004.
Cedric Ellis, yeah.
But yeah, anyways, so yeah, he was a college player, played in the league for about 6 years, bounced around mainly as a special teamer, went on to work with McKinsey as a consultant, advising companies on workplace culture and diversity, which makes sense of why he ended up in the role he did with the Commanders, fresh out all the racist bullshit they had. But yeah, man, shout out to an IE legend, and I'm sure he'll find another role. I mean, it sounds like this was probably going always in the works, especially once they changed ownership. And I'm sure he'll find something, because if nothing else, yeah, they're not winning, but they are not doing anything worse. And when you were as bad as that franchise was, sometimes that's a win. Sometimes just being in the yellow, being in the black, being in the middle is a win.
Yeah, you got them. He has them vertically.
Got them out of the red.
Horizontal.
Got them out of the orange.
Yeah, Gus Bradley's the head coach. Ron Rivera's gone, but like the energy's different in the building, and he's responsible for that.
Is Bradley's the head coach?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Who's the D coordinator in Dallas?
Yeah, the other.
Yeah, Seattle. It's in
the other Seattle. Yeah, the Hawkins coach.
God damn it, his name escapes me, but yes, something.
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn. There we go.
I was like, Gus Bradley's not the coach of the Commanders.
I don't know why I was thinking Gus Bradley.
I mean, he was after. He took over.
Same Seahawks defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he was on the staff with them. They worked together, but yeah.
Love turning safeties into linebackers.
All right, Corey Dillon and Tim Krumrie will be added to the Bengals Ring of Honor in 2024. Touchdown or turnover.
What the fuck took so long?
Yeah, how was Corey Dillon not in there already?
Corey Dillon's a borderline Hall of Fame player. Pretty sure
he had that whole falling out with them.
He might be in the Patriots Ring of Honor. Shit. Didn't he win 3 Super Bowls with the Patriots?
No, I think he only won 1.
I thought he won 2.
He only won 1. I think he was on the team that lost.
He went to multiple Super Bowls. He went to multiple Super Bowls. He definitely got a chip. I remember he definitely got a chip. I think he got multiple chips. I don't know how many, but I know he definitely won a Super Bowl. But yeah, it's like Chad Johnson. He has
1, 2005.
Cool, yeah, he got 1. It's like Chad Johnson.
Shout out to Rudy Johnson, bro.
Rudy Johnson was a GOAT.
It was a GOAT backup running back.
And great in fantasy. On Auburn, too. Auburn knows how to produce great running backs.
Auburn and Butler.
What?
Kansas?
You mean a community college?
No.
What are you saying, Butler?
Butler school.
Like the basketball school?
Yeah.
What does them and Auburn have to do with anything?
He went there first. He's transferred to Auburn.
The fuck? That didn't you?
Yeah. It's on his page.
That's wild.
It's from Virginia. 4th round pick.
Yeah, people forget. He was not that
he
high.
played at the fucking Lions, bro. That's disgusting.
Rudy Johnson, didn't he pop his Achilles on the way out the league?
Yeah.
Crazy. Like him, Jeremy Hill. Well, he was better than Jeremy Hill, but Jeremy Hill had a run.
Anyways, Corey Dillon should have been in.
Chad Johnson, like hell, even Carson Palmer, but Chad Johnson.
Can we also think of something else besides Ring of Honor? Can I just go on a tangent about that?
Team Hall of Fame.
Can we think of something more creative? Like
what? Mr. PR.
Square of superiority? I don't fucking know.
That's fucking stupid.
Triangle.
Ring of Honor sounds cooler and like a ring.
Diamond of dominance.
What are you, a fucking wrestling promoter?
I don't fucking know.
Jim Crockett over
You're
there?
the wordplay guy, not me.
I'm telling you that's bad.
I'm just spitballing here. But Ring of Honor, that everyone has a Ring of Honor now. That's so much better.
Ring of Honor actually is owned by Tony Khan.
How about Hall of Legends?
I'm pretty sure it's a thing already.
Yeah, exactly.
It's already been used, so you can't use it again. It's copyright,
Cafe of Icons?
Stop. You know that was bad. You know it was bad when you said it, when you thought it. You only had half that phrase, and the rest that came out your mouth was just bullshit. Like, you didn't know what was going to come out. You just said ring, like you're just picking like
Lobby of Goats.
You're just picking like prepositional phrases to describe a thing, and it's not working.
Well, I don't hear you thinking of anything better.
Because Ring of Honor is fine.
Ring of Honor is trash. Everyone got a Ring of Honor.
I mean, no, other teams have different names.
About 80% of them
Circle,
are Ring of Honors.
The Golden Circle would be dope.
For the Rams or Notre Dame.
The Ring of Fire?
Nah, it's weak.
I mean, it's a great Johnny Cash song. Fuck you mean?
Yeah, but that's it.
I mean, okay, what do the Raiders call theirs?
I think they call it the Ring of Honor, too. Something like that. All right. John, this one happened.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
This one happened a few weeks ago, but John Johnson III re-signed with the Rams.
What the fuck?
He left with the. He had played with the Browns for like 2 years after he cashed out after the Super Bowl, and now he returns to the Rams. So touchdown or turnover.
That's a nothing burger, and I think we talked about it.
No, we didn't.
Like, I think I randomly said a one-off phrase, like, yeah, he's back with the Rams.
No.
They
you
signed,
probably talked to me about it, but it wasn't on the podcast because we haven't had a podcast in
I'm just saying,
2
like,
weeks.
that dude, it's a non sequitur at this point for him.
I mean, he actually had a good year 2 years ago before this year when they benched him. He had a good year.
Yeah, he didn't fit Cleveland's defense.
And he was better than the other Ram safety that the Raiders signed, and he was better than Taylor Rapp.
A lot of people are better than Taylor Rapp. Cole Bishop out of Utah, the rookie, is better than Taylor Rapp. Better Pac-12 safety.
But yeah, so you don't think John Johnson has anything
He
left?
probably won't even start. They got Cam Curl and the other dude. Like, the Rams are loaded.
They weren't loaded at the end of the season last year. All their safeties were hurt.
Well, now they're back. And they got different guys. And they got younger guys who are in the second and third years.
He's only like 27.
He's a team leader.
Only like 27, 28.
Yeah. I mean, also, there's rumors that not Quandre Diggs, but
next one, Jamal Adams signed with the Titans.
We talked about that.
No, we haven't, Kenny. We haven't had a show in 2 weeks.
That was Wait, he got signed 2 weeks ago?
He got signed like the beginning of the week.
That was 3 weeks ago.
He got signed in between our last episode and 4th of July. So touchdown or turnover?
Touchdown for Tennessee. They need it.
He's not giving up a bunch of touchdowns. I'm going to say it's a turnover only because a lot of people's careers end in Tennessee, 1. 2, I feel like the Titans always find safeties out of nowhere anyways, so I feel like they probably have someone who's beat him out anyways. And what does he even have left? He has only played in like 3 games in like 2 years.
Got the richest safety for a contract ever, though.
Fair.
6th overall pick, right?
Fair.
Not a bust, though.
He's not?
He was an all-pro when he was healthy. And you can't be a bust if you're an all-pro.
I mean, you can't be a bust when you're compared to LaRon Landry.
No, he was compared to like...
Who else?
He was compared to like Sean Taylor.
Bro, the Jets took a lot of trash safeties.
Yeah.
Calvin Pryor was trash.
He was good for like a couple seasons.
Like a season and a half. Like literally a season and a half. Like literally 18 games.
Yeah, he wasn't a high draft pick, though.
I thought he was a first rounder. Second rounder.
I don't think Calvin Pryor was a second round.
I think he was a first or second rounder, bro. Who else? They drafted some others. They drafted safeties all the time, bro. They've drafted a lot of trash ass safeties.
And a lot of good ones.
Who?
Kerry Rhodes was really great. Kerry Rhodes was a Pro Bowler. You can't be a multiple Pro Bowler.
You said Kerry Rhodes was great, bro.
He was.
You said that.
He was great.
You said
He
that.
was great.
That came out of your mouth, bro.
Great. He was.
That was one thing I would never thought I would hear from you in my entire life.
He
bro.
was. He was like a 90
That's
overall. He was like a 92
crazy.
in Madden, bro.
That's crazy, and he was a free agent like fucking 50% of the time.
After he got hurt that first time.
He'd be that dude in the franchise mode who was a free agent that was at 84, and you're
I'll
like,
make him a
well, I might as
linebacker.
well pick him up and just
He was
put him on
6'4".
special teams.
He was 6'4". I turned him into an outside linebacker, bro.
He's from Birmingham. He was never a Pro Bowler.
Really?
By the way, he was never a Pro Bowler.
Alternate counts though.
He was never a Pro Bowler.
Wasn't even an alternate?
No, he had 1 year with 5 picks.
Shit, that was a great year then. That was his best year.
He had 1 year with 4 picks and 1 year with 5 picks.
Those were his 2 best years.
Who was the other Calvin Pryor? I mean, the other Kerry Rhodes that played with the Cardinals.
Andrew Wilson?
Yeah.
That dude was an actual Pro Bowler.
Yeah, he was.
He
was
just
better.
beat his wife and got fired, though. Just beat his wife and got fired.
Who's the dude who's on the Saints now?
Which one?
From the Jets.
Marcus May?
Yeah, bust.
Didn't he go somewhere else? He got paid too. Out of Florida. He was a second round pick. He actually made good on
And
his.
yeah, Calvin Pryor was the 18th overall pick in 2014.
That's nasty.
One of the greatest drafts ever.
He was pretty good.
Only played 4 years.
He was good for 2 of them.
No, he wasn't. He only had 1 good year. He only had 2 career interceptions, and they all came in 1 year.
He was a strong safety. They had him at free. I don't know why.
Nah, they only had him at free his rookie year.
See, rookie year don't count. So he had 1 good year.
Damn, that's crazy. Damn, they're both out of Louisville?
I just said it. Kerry Rhodes came first.
I didn't realize they were both out of Louisville.
Like, pretty much, Calvin Pryor, people thought he was going to be Brandon Merriweather. Or Brandon Merriweather, like, busted out. Like, Brandon Merriweather damn near was like a fringe Pro Bowler.
He was, but all caps fringe.
Fringe. I just have a bunch of useless football knowledge in my head. It only matters in the profession I work in. That's the funny part. That works.
All right, moving on.
There was a dude I forgot his name.
The Chargers debuted their new facility in El Segundo. Touchdown or turnover?
Touchdown. That shit look beautiful. And it's right by Topgolf too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a touchdown
That
too.
that whole area is nice.
I feel like they needed to get a little bit more.
That's $1 billion.
A little bit more ingrained into LA, and I feel like El Segundo is a good place to do it because
The El Segundo Chargers.
Kings are there, the Lakers are there.
Sparks.
The Sparks are not there.
It used to be there years ago, right?
No, Sparks are.
You never trained there?
No, the Sparks were in Culver City, downtown, Playa Vista. Yeah, they were never over there.
I thought you said Prairie Vista. I was like, what the?
Yeah, and then I think there's one more team over there. But yeah, so either way, I mean, we've talked about it before, but thanks to everything that's going on in Inglewood, the center of LA is definitely shifting south downtown, and I feel like El Segundo's kind of like, despite its racist history, is also kind of reaping the tailwinds of that. As you mentioned, that whole area is just kind of getting redone and getting reinvested in, and I feel like it's a good place for the Chargers to be, because otherwise you might forget, like, oh yeah, the Chargers are here too.
And plus, like, when you leave LAX, everybody comes over there. When you don't want to, like, be in Hawthorne or, like, Inglewood, you're in El Segundo if you get off that plane.
All right, let's try to get through this.
Also, Eddie Jackson might go to the Ravens. That's the name I was trying to remember.
Makes sense.
Since it's former, we talk about washed up safeties, even though he's not washed up fully.
He's kind of washed up.
He had
He's been
he was
washed
like,
up for 2
he was
years.
really good on the back end, but not as hasn't been the same since he fucked his leg up. And he came back and had a decent year, but it wasn't the same. If he ends up on the Ravens, it's just cheating.
Amos is washed too.
Amos is definitely washed. He's on his like 3rd team.
All right, Fairfay, Lane Kiffin versus Paul Feinbaum. Want to set this up a little bit?
He Just cut the Ether music on. Just cut Euphoria on and listen to Lane Kiffin talk. About he said to Paul
Kenny
Feinbaum's
never
face,
takes Lane Kiffin's side either, so that's crazy.
I'm taking Lane's side. Lane's grown as a person, okay?
And he's grooving.
He's just petty. Yeah. He looked that man in the eye and said, I don't know what you're good at in life. I don't know what you do that's like, what are you good at? What do you do? I don't understand what your purpose is. Like, pretty much said it to his face. Like, I don't know what it is you're good at. You said Saban was going to retire. He coached like another 7 years. You said I was washed up as Miley Cyrus. He's like, and then Feinbaum was like, and look at Miley Cyrus. She's rebounded. I was like, yeah, and so have I. We both got better. What happened to you? Cook that man. I got to be at SEC Media Day next year. I need to talk to Lane Kiffin. It has to happen. Me and Lane Kiffin have to have a conversation. I'm just manifesting it now. So when you see me at SEC Media Day and I play that Lane Kiffin question and you start laughing hysterically, just know I did it for the culture.
All right. Georgia.
Lane did it for the culture. He roasted Feinbaum's bum ass. It was beautiful.
The USC lineage. Georgia complains about NIL at SEC Media Day. Fair or fake?
Kirby Smart out here complaining about, I wish we had Georgia's resources, and Dan Lanning was on your staff, bruh. And he out-recruited you, bruh. And he actually has one of the most loaded teams in the country, bruh. Oh, yeah, and he got all that NIL money. Oh, yeah, and he brought SEC toughness back to Oregon. He actually made Oregon a better place than what Cristobal left it. And Cristobal got Panay Sewell. Like, people forget that. Like, he had Justin Herbert. Like, Cristobal did some great things at Oregon. And you look at Lanning.
So why did he leave again?
To go to Miami.
Is that really a better job? Though?
God tier money. God tier money at your alma mater.
Yes, yeah.
Fuck that. If
CSUN
offered you $250K,
even though he can't even walk into an alumni booster without getting packed out after those 2 fucking shitty call games he had last year.
Nah, they chilling. They got Cam Ward. They got those great running backs. They got Damian Martinez.
I'm just saying. I hope you don't fuck it up because
they got a 5-star tackle.
Trust me, bro. I'm plugged into the Miami alumni. People are ready to turn on him already.
Oh yeah, they've been ready to turn on him since before that play. Like, Clemson's not good, and we can't even be competitive against them. But I think he finally got the quarterback situation figured out with Cam Ward.
Anyway, back to Georgia.
Door. But anyway, yeah, so Kirby Smart's talking all that shit, but it's like, bro, you just had 3 players get popped for going over the speed limit again. Maybe Georgia, with all those black rappers in Atlanta and just all these, the mecca of everything in Atlanta, maybe y'all should, I don't know, create like a Uber fund for Georgia football players so they stop fucking driving.
What's crazy to me,
let me get an Uber NIL deal, dog.
What's crazy to me, though,
it's up.
What's crazy to me, though, is it's like,
I'm glad I'm not a fucking 18-year-old kid this time.
The teams that are crying the most and the loudest are the teams that benefited and have been playing players under the table for years.
All right, since Reggie Bush.
And it's like,
got away with it.
Now that all this shit is in the open, you're saying
fair.
it's unfair when really it's the opposite. It's parity. You know, it's like even the teams like Fresno State, like they're not even complaining as much as Georgia and Alabama are.
They got
which
Corey
is crazy.
Foreman out of USC.
It's like at the end of the day,
shout out to Jeff Tedford again.
The game continues to evolve, and you have to evolve or get your chain snatched, as we've always said.
Evolve and adapt or get your chain snatched.
And also, with that, shut up. Like, stop crying, bro. Like,
I thought you were telling me to shut up for a second. I was like, I was
shit's in motion. Shit's been in motion. Like, just fucking get over it.
Georgia's a fucking cheat code.
You weren't fucking crying when you had the top recruiting class like 2 years ago.
5 years in a row.
Like, so now the 1 year you don't, it's like, oh, shut up. It's
half
like,
the Eagles' defense is like fucking Georgia players. Shut up.
It's like that fucking bully that's like, oh, you picked up a rock and hit me. It's like, bro, you've been fucking gaining up on me with 4 people and stuffing me in a locker for 5 years.
You only pick on the special
ed
ed
kids. I finally snapped back? Like, fuck you.
So me, my whole high school career.
All right, Mason
took shit too
Killicam,
far.
Ether, Jay Prince, and Shakur Stevenson.
Shakur Stevenson.
For a dude who like literally fucking hates Jay Prince, like his whole existence, the thought of him existing, whatever. I only know about him because of you. Like you be giving this motherfucker more PR than anyone else that I know. Like you always feel the need to have to address him, even though your address usually starts off with he's a fucking bitch.
Because he is.
I'm just saying.
He represents the old guard.
That's my fade. That's my fade is Jay Prince being on my rundown once a fiscal quarter.
Well, because you don't understand the impact he's had on culture.
I do. You've explained it to me multiple times.
But you didn't feel it. You didn't feel it in real time.
You've explained it to me multiple times.
You learned after the fact and like, oh, okay, well, fuck this guy. I'm like, no, I remember. Like, motherfuckers keep acting like Jay Prince is the boogeyman.
He's pretty much the fucking whack 100 of Houston.
No, he's not. He's definitely not.
Game of Houston?
No, he's not. He's actually tied in with the government.
The Adam 22 of
No, see,
Houston?
that's what I'm saying. No.
So what would be his analogy in LA?
He's Jay Prince. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but what would he be in LA? Like who would be like him in LA?
He wouldn't be able to make it in LA.
Suge?
No, Suge actually like had death row fucking worth almost $1 billion. Like what Jay Prince did in Texas, it only works in Texas. He hit a lick off Drake. His son found Drake. His other son got fucking Offset killed.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And
so
all he does is get rappers
who
killed
would be
and beat
his
up.
comparison in LA?
There isn't one because he wouldn't stack up in LA. Is what I'm telling you. He only got motion in Texas like that, and in certain parts of the South. There's motherfuckers in Texas who don't respect him. Sauce Walker. There's people in Texas who like Charleston White. Other people are like, we're not afraid of you, bro. You work with the feds. He literally worked with the feds. He beat a RICO charge and then worked with the feds later in life. And then he's 60 years old talking tough and shit. And Cam and Mason like, we don't respect you. Ain't no big homies. I'm a grown man with a big homie. Are you serious? Guess what? I got friends. I got people in my life who see me as like an older brother.
All right,
I would
so
never
explain
say
this whole
that's
fucking
my
situation.
big homie.
Explain the whole situation and why is it a fair
Shakur Stevenson,
fate?
who by the way was actually there the night that Offset got murdered. Oh wait, take off. My bad. Sorry. Knock on wood and shit. I didn't mean that. I meant his
You
kids.
said that shit like 3 times.
I know. I was like, oh shit. Sorry. R.I.P. Take off. But yeah. So Shakur Stevenson been talking shit, but his fights have been boring, and he doesn't sell. And nobody believes he would beat fucking Tank Davis. Tank Davis would knock his fucking head off. He wouldn't even really beat Devin Haney. And we all don't respect that loss, the Ryan Garcia shit, even though Ryan Garcia cheated and he's a racist. And honestly, if he got hit by a bus tomorrow, I wouldn't fucking care. I mean, you want to be racist? Cool. Fuck you and your mama and your nieces and nephews. It's like that. If it's war, it's war. But whatever. Fuck Ryan Garcia too. I just had to throw that in there. Especially when he says he's a Ku Klux Klan member and all this other shit. That's crazy. But Jay Prince talks a lot of shit, pops off a lot of shit. He noticed he didn't say nothing to Kendrick and nobody in L.A. He was quiet the whole time Drake and Kendrick were going at it. He ain't said 2 fucking words. And yeah, nobody from TDE is allowed in Canada right now, but so? Fuck Canada. If Canada disappeared tomorrow, it would be Friday.
Fuck you. You don't got to come for Canada like that.
Fuck Canada,
got all that
bro.
shit.
Fuck Canada.
Canada got fucking nature. They got bitches. They got healthcare.
We got nature and bitches.
They got beer.
We got beer.
They got fucking...
Bro, Canadians imitate us and then try to be cool. In their
not
country.
really. Not really. Actually, we kind of imitate them. When you look
Definitely
at
never,
a lot of shit
I don't
that
even
we've done
eat
as
maple
far
syrup.
as policy, a lot of that shit comes from Canada.
Hey, bro, if Canada and U.S. went to war right now, who's winning? We got more nukes, by the way. They don't even allow to have fucking guns in certain parts of Canada. What do you... Dog, fuck out of
That's
here.
not saying a lot, bro. We got the greatest military in the world. That's not
yes,
saying a
so
lot.
don't forget that.
But that's just in the world.
Like,
we're not talking about the galaxy.
Like, we love... Did you just say the galaxy? What the fuck is this, the Power Rangers, bro? Like, does Canada have, like, reached and we don't know about it?
No,
That's stupid.
I'm just saying. I mean, there's a reason why Canada aligns with us. There's no doubt about that. But
We fight their battles.
What I'm saying is, we also get shit from them too. Like, don't get it
Maple
twisted,
syrup.
bro. It's not just maple syrup.
Nickelback.
It's not just all
Actually,
of
we
Hollywood.
made Nickelback famous. By the way,
Hollywood.
That-
if you want to keep it a bean, all of fucking Hollywood is Canadian.
Well, that's
Like,
because
literally,
they abuse the immigration system worse than anybody.
If you went through the whole fucking Academy
Seth Rogen?
Awards, fucking nominations, and Emmys nominations, like a cool 70% of them are fucking Canadian.
And why is that? Because Canadians abuse the immigration system worse than anybody.
I wouldn't say it's abuse.
No, they do. They always stay. A lot of them stay past their visa. They live in Santa Monica.
It's
a
not,
whole bunch of white
not
people
really
came
the abuse.
in Santa Monica.
It's more of the institutional and structure. There's like a lot of things that.
How about you just call a thing a thing?
A lot of things that Canadians get versus other countries,
Bro,
and that's not okay. That's not the Canadians'
Their
fault.
visa in
That's
America
the Americans'
expires
fault.
and they stay
that's
here.
The institution's fault.
Yes, but guess what? If a Mexican lives in
But
California,
what I'm saying is a lot of refugees come through Canada too. So that's why there's a lot of protections that are different between USA and Canada versus all the other nations.
I understand that, but I'm talking about white people in Santa Monica.
It don't matter.
Snooty
There's
ass
white refugees
attitudes
too, bro.
Walking around.
Bro, there's white refugees. Hello, Russia.
I ain't dog.
Hello,
off,
Ukraine.
There are actually like our enemies in war. That's a totally different situation. Canada ain't fucking.
That doesn't mean there's not refugees from them.
Yes, but my point isn't about refugees. That's literally a straw man. I'm not bring up refugees.
But what I'm telling you is you're ignoring.
Drake comes here.
What I'm telling you,
get money
what I'm
off
telling you
certain
is
people.
you're ignoring the fact that
I'm not ignoring it.
You're ignoring the fact that the two countries
not
are in
important to
bed
my point.
together. So of course it makes it easier for citizens from there to do shit over here. Just like we can do a lot of shit in Mexico that a lot of other countries can't do in Mexico.
Well, yeah, because we fucked, or not we, America fucked over Mexico royally. And, like, they help us wash our drug money. Let's just be real. That's why politicians look the other way when it comes to Mexico. But
All right, so finish up this
bottom line is Canada and Jay Prince, like, you popping all that shit off, but then when it's really time to actually stand up and say something to people, like you threatening and saying, it's time to get the gat and all this other shit. And Mace is like, nigga, I'm not afraid of you. You're a nobody. You're a 60-year-old trying to play tough. You ain't never seen video of Jay Prince Sr. fighting, swinging on nobody. Black 100 done got down with people. He didn't knock out white boys. He didn't got down with other gang members. Yeah, he might be a fed, but at least he shoots the fade. There's like video evidence. Like Pac was out here getting busy. Like Snoop, all these cats on the West Coast were out here putting work in and then standing on their square when they went to New York and other places. But Jay Prince only acts tough in Texas. He don't do that shit in LA, really. He know not to. So what I'm saying is with Mace, and I don't really fuck with New York like that because they've been on some weirdo shit for a while now too. But at least with those dudes being who they are, Mace and Cam standing on business, yeah, why would we be afraid? Like, you old niggas who, like, think you have power, like, bro, I could kill most of you with my bare hands. You're old, you got fucking arthritis, you can't do shit. Like, none of these kids are afraid of you. If we're not afraid of you as 30-year-olds, these 20-year-olds will fucking literally, dog, they'll never find your body. These 18-year-olds will violate you out here.
All right, so
yes, that's why it's a beef and it's a fade, because Jay Prince keeps opening his mouth to threaten people, and everybody's like, we're not afraid of you, bro. All you do is extort other black people when you get to Texas. You don't never talk loud with no racist white folks, but you always popping off shit at black people.
all right, so can we not put Jay Prince on this until 2025?
Oh, no, it'll never happen again unless like something really, like unless somebody knocks Jay Prince out in public, or if Jay Prince walks up on me and I'm gonna be like,
how about if that happens, you just keep it for your rant?
I'm gonna just keep it P.
Just keep it for your rant. How
I'm just
about
keep
that?
it P, yeah. I'm never gonna talk about it again. Like Joe Budden said, I'm never gonna talk about Cardi B ever again. because mostly she's irrelevant and she'll never put out an album because she actually doesn't really have talent. But that's another story.
That's fucked up. She
I
kinda
mean-
do, but that's fucked up.
I mean, we can have a whole side discussion about how Migos kind of fucked up her career and QC fucked up her
Crazy
career
how,
and Atlantic fucked up her career, but that's another story.
She kind of has more talent than Joe Budden.
She had a good relationship with Joe Budden. Cardi he was
B,
kissing her
if
ass.
Cardi B had a fucking podcast, it would do more numbers than his.
I wouldn't want to hear shit Cardi B got.
I'm
to
not
say.
saying I would listen to it. I'm just saying it would do more numbers than
Well,
his.
okay, tell us how you drugged that dude, and then like he woke up with a transgender prostitute in the room, and you took his money. Tell us about that. Okay, after about 3 episodes of that, you're gonna get fucking tired of hearing her laugh. And then
I wouldn't listen to the first 3 episodes. I'm just saying.
But that's what I'm saying. So
millions of people would. Millions of people.
You
would.
got to picture like you would listen to it though, and you wouldn't listen to it because nobody gives
Bro,
a fuck with Cardi B.
millions
has
of
to say.
people watch her on reality TV. People would listen to her talk.
No, I
People
agree.
watch her on social media all the time. People love her.
I agree, but you don't give a fuck about Cardi
I don't.
B. That's
But
what
she's got a better personality than Joe Budden is.
Nah,
Joe
Joe
Budden?
Budden's solidified in what he does.
And also,
Whether you like it or not.
And also, she's killed Joe Budden on the charts. That goes without
No, he
saying.
has. Pump It Up is bigger. First off, Bodak Yellow was great, but did she?
I don't
write-
think Pump It
did
Up
she
was
write
ever
it?
number 1, bro.
Pump It Up was in fucking.
I don't
You Got
Pump,
Served.
Pump It Up was
My boy.
never number 1,
You
bro.
Got Served might have been the
Pump
number
It
1
Up.
movie in the country at one point. Like that shit had culturally. Pump It Up had shit in a chokehold. We ain't gonna act like Joe Budden didn't have a run with Pump It Up.
Really? Pump It Up was more successful.
You were in the IE. I don't know if you
Pump
really
It
felt
Up
it.
was more successful on Madden 2004, first off. Second
That
off,
was a cheap shot, and you know it.
Second off,
That was a cheap shot.
Fucking White Girl Dance movie was better than You Got Served.
White
and
Girl
you
Dance
fucking know
movie.
it,
What
bro.
the fuck is White Girl Dance movie. What's that?
Fucking Honey was better than You Got Served, bro.
Okay, first off,
Breaking It is better than You Got Served,
you
bro.
won't say that to any other black people.
I've said that before.
And how many black people in the room?
You Got Served is the most overrated dance music movie.
That's not
in
the
black
point.
culture. You know it. You
That's not
fucking
the
know
point.
it.
That's not the point.
You fucking know it.
Hey, dog, we listen to a lot of stupid shit. Like people, think about what
Look
they were
at
wearing.
Marion, bro. He's just going
He has-
to random spots, just fucking
Icebox for his heart. He's happy.
fucking
He's fulfilled. I'm happy for Amari.
gliding for no reason, bro.
Hey, dog, don't you ever disrespect Icebox.
Come on, man.
You had an icebox where your heart used to be. Don't you ever?
No, I don't. I'm healing.
You used to. That's what I'm saying.
I'm healing.
But you sang icebox in your room
I still seen that shit.
and cried. So don't act like
After
Omarion
that 2-day relationship ends, just playing that Iman song and Icebox.
or that girl you see at the music festival that you're never gonna see again.
Don't mean shit now. Fuck you, you hoe. I don't want you back.
You mean that's JoJo and that other
no,
dude?
No, that's Iman.
Oh, that's what that guy's name was.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
No, but she came out with a reverse. Fuck you, you bitch. Your sex was whack. Like, that was
she
wild.
did. Yeah,
that was a
yeah.
wild era. JoJo was on some shit.
Yeah. She just released a book like a week ago.
She's dope though.
Because basically because she's Canadian, but basically her
She gets a
fucking,
pass though.
her fucking second album got fucking record label fucking killed pretty much. So she was like, fuck that. Like, I'm not going to put out this weak ass album you guys want me to put out. So she just never dropped. So that's why she just kind of fell out of the spotlight.
And then she got grown and started putting out grown men, grown woman. I like getting fucked music, and then she's blown. back
Nah,
up
she
again.
hasn't. Or did she put out music?
She been put out music. She performs and everything. Burlesque
I don't
shows,
think-
all that. She got
Yeah.
a whole album.
No.
She
I don't
got
think she
married.
dropped the album, bro.
If not an album, she been putting out music for like the past 7 years. She got some cuts too, some deep cuts. I found out because of the Joe Budden podcast and Rory Maul and the Sleepers and shit. Rory Maul acting like a bitch right now. Yeah, Maul's a bitch too. Honestly, yep. Maul and Jay Prince are in the same category. I'm starting to think Maul really was hiding detergent, and he's really just he acts cool, but he's not cool. And it's like, when Brandon Jennings has to roast you and flame you up, bro, and that man got a court down the street from where my mama stay. So, yeah, and we don't take sides against L.A. Hoopers over here because Brandon Jennings was a trendsetter. Best believe it. His NBA career would have went. If Brandon Jennings was in the league right now, oh my God, One, he would have been the number one pick in this fucking draft.
I forgot she was in RV.
Who was in RV? JoJo?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, she was in some shit. I'm telling you, that era was like a lot of...
But yeah, she dropped albums in 2020 and 2021. She was also made a cameo in the Bernie Mac show and Romeo.
And she did
People
some stuff with
forget
Missy
about
Elliott.
Romeo. I forgot about Romeo.
That's disrespectful as fuck.
You never once brought up Romeo. Every time, you know how many times we've talked about 90s to 2000s fucking teen shows?
Because you're not ready for me to get my Romeo bag.
Romeo.
You're not ready
you
for
never
that.
once brought up
You're
Romeo,
not ready
bro.
for the Romeo bag. You're
All
not
right.
ready for that. Romeo was better than Bow Wow at one point.
That's wild.
No, that was true.
That's a fucking
That was
hot
in the
take.
streets. No, that was in the streets for real,
It's
for real.
really, really
and then
nice to
fucking
meet
Like
you,
Mike
ma.
came out and it was
I'm not
over.
really digging your
once
style.
Like Mike came out, it was over.
Let's get down.
Once we saw Master P didn't really fuck with a song like that.
Let me hold you down like a my friend's supposed to. Yeah, that was the fat friend zone anthem for a little bit, bro.
Nah, I refused.
Solid
to.
2 years. Yeah, that's why you knew the
I
fucking
refused.
choreography. Shut your ass up.
I refused to accept it. I was like, no, I don't want that energy because then you're gonna think I'm fat in the friend zone. No, bitch, I'm trying to break your heart. I'm just fat.
All right, moving on. Aaron Donald said he hated Tom Brady for 5 years after losing the Super Bowl.
So does Drew Bledsoe.
Fair or fade?
I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't he? How many people? There's probably a piece of Randy Moss.
I mean,
that hates
I
Tom
wouldn't
Brady.
hate Tom Brady. He wasn't the one who couldn't
Nah,
score.
I would hate Tom Brady.
He wasn't the one who couldn't score in that
I would
last
hate
drive.
Tom Brady if I lost the Super Bowl and we held this motherfucker to 13 points.
Exactly. I wouldn't.
Because guess what? You're the reason he got another ring. So it's your fault, and you hate him because it's your fault. It's an
Yeah, I wouldn't
endless.
hate him.
It's an endless hate cycle, and Aaron Donald's
But
a fucking
he
psycho.
doesn't hate him anymore. He let it go. He let
Okay.
it go like 2 years. He let it go when he won the Super Bowl, basically.
Yeah, of course you would, because you won. But if you didn't win,
And on
he
that
would still
same
hate Tom
note-
Brady. He'd still be playing.
On that same note, Todd Gurley said he didn't have FOMO watching the Rams win the Super Bowl a year after he was no longer in the league.
Because
Fair
he's not even
fade.
30 yet. He's not even fucking 30 yet.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he's still top 10 in touchdowns, which is
Yup.
fucking crazy.
One was better than Zeke. I'm just saying.
Couldn't even go to the Ravens. Well, he was drafted higher than Zeke.
Like, imagine tearing your leg up in college and being so great, nobody even has to see you run. They just know you're one of the best.
Imagine
fucking
being
players.
so great that
He was so great that he
you
didn't even
made-
have to play.
Imagine being so great you make Nick Chubb an afterthought, bro. And Nick Chubb is a great player.
Nick Chubb came right after him,
They were on the same team though.
but he came after him.
I know.
Like, Gurley was the like the grandfather to the
Yeah,
running back.
yeah.
Like, he was better than Noshawn Moreno. He's like the standard. He's like the Champ Bailey of running backs at Georgia.
For sure. All right.
He was
Final
supposed
one.
to be better than Herschel, but
Final one. The Boys, season 4.
timeout. He also made the running back sleeve elite. Todd Gurley gets credit for the running back elbow sleeve.
I'm on that one.
Who did it better?
I'm a turf tape guy.
No, but that shit is sexy, bro. The elbow
I'm a
sleeve.
turf tape guy.
If you have tinnitus in your elbow, that's why
You know who wears a fucking elbow sleeve?
people who have elbow nerve issues.
You know who wears a fucking elbow sleeve?
Justin Jefferson.
You know who the fuck
Justin
I'm gonna
Jefferson. If you say Eddie Roy or Eddie Kinnison, it was
say. Derek
Eddie
Carr
Kinnison.
wins a fucking elbow sleeve.
I don't know. I mean, like,
Paul George wears a fucking elbow
that's
sleeve.
different. They both went to Fresno State, but that's different.
I'm just saying, dog.
They dick rolled the
Elbow
sleeve.
sleeve is not elite anymore.
They were not wearing elbow sleeves when they came into the league. They gentrified. They clout chased the elbow sleeve. Paul George had a little fucking.
Shout out to Dick Vermeil for making the Chiefs all wear that fucking turtleneck in
That
the
shit was
Madden
lit.
2004. That shit was kind of lit, bro.
Eddie Kinnison.
Yeah.
Who was the
Bro,
backup
even the
tight end?
linemen had that shit on, bro.
Yeah, Will Shields. That's why
Yeah.
that shit was so elite. I was like, they got drip. They got that shit on. The backup tight end, Dunn. Not Chris Dunn.
But yeah,
dreads,
moving
89.
on.
Anyway.
The Boys, season 4, fair or fade. Without spoiling it.
It's like I compare it to when I was scratching my leg in the 7th grade. It was summer. Broke my ankle in a hip cast. I'm scratching the inside of my leg. Like, amazing. You know when you scratch like a body part and like that's your spot, and it just feels amazing. Your eyes are damn near rolling in the back of your head because you're finally getting the itch away.
Let's go.
That's how great the boys was on that trajectory. Like, there's nothing they could do
to fuck it up
that could fuck it up. And it's like, God, they're hitting every spot. And then there was the part when I was scratching the inside of my leg. And then when I went to the doctor and they cut ripped the fucking skin heinously. Almost got an infection. Almost lost my leg low key at like 11. Crazy work. But anyway. So they take the cast off and they're like, what the fuck? Your leg is like 3 different colors, bro. And then they put that yellow gel on your leg to kind of cleanse it out, get all the dead skin off. That's kind of what like this season was supposed to be. This season was supposed to clear up a lot of shit and the cliffhangers from the previous season where, I can say it, Maeve isn't on the fucking show anymore. Like, you don't know that. You're 2 seasons behind, which is what the fuck you doing. Bottom line is you missed a whole bunch from the previous season that was really great. Soulja Boy, Jensen, you're missing a whole bunch from that last season. This season was supposed to clear up a bunch of shit. Gen V was supposed to help, I guess, and be in the same universe as the show, and it was really just kind of icky. But it's kind of art reflecting life because let's be honest, society is just full blown ick right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you look at when I went through this season, I went through a roller coaster of emotions, and I tried to tell you don't get emotionally attached. But the show, we're emotionally attached to the show because like you want to see evil people get their comeuppance, but like everybody's getting their comeuppance, so it's like, wait, what the hell is going on? Like, where is this leading to? And if you know anything about Eric Kripke, because I watched every episode of Supernatural growing up, and that shit lasted like 17 fucking years. That's crazy. Like, so when you factor all that in, this dude, just like this monologue, likes to drag shit out to the very end and then get to the point, and then you're like, oh, I get it. Yeah, that's pretty much what The Boys is doing, and it's confusing and pissing a lot of people off outside of the incels and white supremacists who realize that The Boys have been mocking y'all this whole time because you're fucking idiots. But once you get past the racist trope and racist and stupid people being mocked, you realize, okay, I think you guys lost the plot of the show. That's where we're at with it.
Yeah, so I agree with the last point, which should have been your lead, but I digress.
I mocked myself to make that point. I did it for the culture.
Yeah, so I mean, I just watched the new season. I'm newer to the show. I just watched all last 3 seasons last year. So, for me, I think when I first tried to watch it, like even before that, it's just kind of like that. Just felt like that mindless, like kind of just like gore and like, kind of like low hanging humor. But as you start watching it more, you start seeing like, oh, okay, like you said, this is satire. This is, there's a point to it. There's a purpose behind it. So once I kind of understood that, it was able to draw me in a little bit more and help me move past just, okay, what would it be like if superheroes were everywhere and most of them were bad? And as I went on that journey, it's like, okay, you fall in love with all these characters because it's really an ensemble show. So you see all their POV, you see how they are, the way they are, and then everything just kind of ties up and gets fucked, like, through the first 3 seasons. And as you mentioned, this 4th season was kind of just supposed to give it like a nice little reset, nice little redirection. And it just felt like it kind of just wasted my time because I feel like I still have a lot of the same questions I had at the beginning of the season. Except for now, I've put 8 more hours into this universe, into this time frame, into these characters. And truthfully, I don't know if I really learned anything more about them that I didn't already know. Like, yeah, some of their storylines developed a little bit more and some more of the details came fleshed out. But in reality, like, I don't feel like they developed as much as they did in other seasons. And also, with that, just overall, I feel like, going back to my original point, it feels like this was the season where it was like, okay, now we're giving you more of the, hypersexuality, more of the fucking gore, more of the fucking low-hanging humor. And I feel like I didn't need that. Like, okay, if it's Star Wars or if it's Batman or Star Wars, like if it's these characters that I've known for 40 or 50 years, then yeah, I'll sit and watch through a show with no plot just to see some cool shit. But even that's 10 episodes a half hour long. That's not 8 45-minute episodes of a drama. So even that is different. And then, so yeah, just to go back to your point, I feel like in some ways they kind of did this for the fans to give them back the characters, to show them kind of like what The Boys is known for. But on the other hand, it didn't have the same sort of depth that the first 3 seasons had that kind of saved it. And further into your point, it really just felt like kind of a touch point to make you go deeper into The Boys kind of universe and ultimately make you go watch Gen V.
Yeah, because the guy who made The Boys is the guy who made Supernatural. How many deep cuts in Supernatural? How many times have I referenced Supernatural on this fucking podcast? And we're approaching the 8th year anniversary of Touchdowns and Tangents, by the way. Very. Yeah, man. It's like some things you need to just get to the shits with it. And I feel like maybe he knows something we don't. They knew they were going to get one last season. So I think season 5 is going to be the last season. But that's just not coming out for like 2 years now. And honestly, the worst thing about streaming and all this shit, even before COVID, is like people said, okay, well, we're going to get 10 episodes. Let's take fucking a year or 2 years to put this together. And yeah, you may think it's a masterpiece and you put, a lot of lifeblood, sweat equity into it. But guess what? Stranger Things, those motherfuckers are in their 20s and 30s now.
Yeah. And
One kid was like, I started this show when I was 10. I'm 20 now. Bro, what the fuck? It's not much has really happened in Stranger Things. Can we just be honest?
And that's
you kill the redhead off. I'm not watching the show anymore.
And that's a good point that you bring up, because it's like with streaming, it's like you're trying to create that masterpiece. You're trying to keep that attention. You're trying to get people to want to subscribe to these platforms to see these shows, right? But at the same time, they're all like a moment, because it's like they drop, you binge them, you talk about them for a week or two, and then they're done. So it's like, as much as you're trying to create that great everlasting cinematic experience, it's really just fucking potato chips, bro. Like, you're trying to create the filet mignon, but it's really just fucking potato chips. And that's what makes it sad, because
this season was a cliff bar.
Because I felt like that season, because I felt like the show like really did have like depth beyond just the shit you saw on TV, and now after this season, I felt like I just got potato chips.
It was like, okay, they already said they're going to kill a lot of people off in the last season.
Because the truth is,
they're honey-dicking us.
The truth is, I just kept watching it because I was expecting for things to tie together, and it never did.
Clarity and finality.
Yeah, and it never did. And it just kept giving me more of the same bullshit.
Honey-dicked us. They honey-popped us.
All right. Well, we're over time, so let's make the rounds quick. Let's hold it to a minute, since there's only 2 of us, and we've been talking for 2 hours. So just say whatever you got to say. I can't hear you. You got to fix your cord.
Outside of tomorrow, when my nephew and my sister come kick it with me, I'm not going to talk for like until media day. And then I'm just going to go fucking radio silent for like 2 weeks. Yeah, man. NCAA is great. To see this in my lifetime, this game disappear and then it come back, and it feel like an even better version than 2014 in terms of just, the transparency, and everyone feels like we helped put this together. You know what I mean? Like everybody, I feel like we all played a part in getting this game created, developed, and mass produced. They literally had to shut down the servers, like, because too many people were on that shit. Like, I saw earlier today, And also, to finish up my rant, Big Sean's dropping, I think, on the 6th. So now we know when Kendrick's dropping. Yeah, Big Sean's album is dropping in I think a week or two. I think August 6th or some shit like that. So, yeah, we'll see how much of a Big Sean stan Pete is when he listens to Big Sean's album and realizes Kendrick is gonna come out with something better. But yeah, fuck Drake, fuck OVO, and Baca does have a weird case. Why is he still around? Love y'all. Shout out to y'all. I'm really excited about going to Big Ten Media Day and representing Touchdowns and Tangents and my family and everybody else. And doing the work that, honestly, I'm proud of, and the work that me and Pete said, fuck it. Why don't we just do this on our own time and our own dime? Because we see these people on TV who, A, are either corny, never played, or aren't really telling the truth, or aren't really getting the answers and asking the questions that people in the community really want to know and hear from. We just went on 18,000 rants. And guess what? You could probably trace back this conversation to a conversation somebody was having 30 years ago and be like, damn, that's a through line. So just know culture is fluid. People say gender is fluid. I think culture is fluid. I think we all are experiencing everything at the same time, just from a slightly different angle and prism. And it's on you, once you understand your experience, to go out and experience life through other people's eyes and interpretations so you can better understand the bigger picture. And honestly, that's all I've ever tried to do as a journalist, tell people stories. I'm starting to get pretty good at it. I feel like I'm finally kind of arriving to where I want to be as a journalist, and now it's a matter of just becoming who I need to be. Yeah, that's it for me. Sorry I went over time.
Yeah, so for me, I'll just talk a little bit about NBA Summer League. It was great to get out there to Vegas once again. Me and my dad have been going for the better part of 20 years. I probably missed a handful of those. He's probably missed maybe 1 or 2 years in that time frame. So it's been great to get a first look at all the top prospects every year. This year I got to see most of the top 10, which was good. Wasn't super hot. It was under 110, which was great. And yeah, man, I had a couple drinks, found a relatively cheap hotel on Sunday and Monday. And yeah, man, just got to spend some time with my dad, played a little gambling, did a little drinking, nothing too crazy. So it was overall a good time. It's always, I think the good thing about this year was the Lakers didn't have a lot of games, at least on the 2 days that we went. So it wasn't super crowded, except for the last day we were there. They played the last game, so it was crowded for that. Everyone wanted to see Bronny, which I don't know if Bronny's even a pro. I think Gel will give him buckets, but, I mean, he does have some things, and he could develop, so I'll give him a chance. I just hope, LeBron doesn't keep putting this pressure on him, and I hope his younger brother doesn't pass him too fast, because that might break him as well. But yeah, overall, NBA Summer League was a great experience. If you've never been, you should definitely go, especially if you're a big Hoops fan. There's nothing like it, getting that close to some of the top prospects, seeing some former NBA players, current NBA players, hanging out in their element, scouts and media just amongst the people. And yeah, man, there's no better value for basketball. On top of that, we didn't get to go to see Team USA, but we seen them the last 2 times, which is another great experience. If you haven't done that, would like to get there this year, but it just didn't work out. And last week I was also at NAHJ. I forgot to mention that, but that's why last week was so busy too. And it was just a great experience to get out there and connect with some journalists. Years past, I've been pretty active in different journalism organizations. I've been to a number of conferences, and I'm at the age now where I'm no longer the youngest person in the room, but I'm still definitely not the oldest. So I'm kind of in a weird middle phase in my career. So at first it can feel kind of weird because a lot of people my age are just concentrated on working, on trying to be those middle managers or trying to get up from those middle manager jobs. They're not really investing the time into networking. They're not really investing the time into professional development or finding a new job. So, there wasn't a lot of people like, in their early 30s, more established in their career. It was either more at the end or more kind of at the late, middle, or early. But still, I felt great just connecting with some of these students, man, some of these young journalists, some of these people who just graduated. And it's like just seeing them in the hallways. Like I was sitting down, this one journalist who just graduated, he had took a photo for me the day before. So he just sat next to me. And then he was just like, just randomly like, what are you doing? Because I was working, just told him what I'm doing, told him how I work. I just got talking to him, and he just told me how overwhelmed he was, and I just kind of slowed it down for him. I broke it down into parts. Another woman who was in one of the sports panels with me, she asked kind of like, hey, like, how do I manage everything? Like, I feel like I need to be present, but I feel like I need to be on social media, but I feel like I need to be, like, working on my resume. Like, I don't know how to manage it all, so... Same thing, I gave her some advice. There was another volunteer I gave some great advice to. So just kind of being a resource to these students felt really good. Getting to spend some time with some of these journalists, both active and retired, and just learning about their experiences is helpful for me, both as an independent, entrepreneur and also as a publicist. So overall, it was a great experience. I haven't been to Hollywood in a while, so that was weird, but also kind of cool. Like, it wasn't that far because it could feel far, especially if you go the wrong way in traffic. But really, it's literally just straight down La Brea for like 10 miles, and you're in Hollywood. So, yeah, man, this is Touchdowns to Tangents, TDs_tangents on Twitter and Instagram. You can hit us up there if you have any questions, you want to see any content. Get your questions out to Kenny before he's at Media Day. Try to get into some of these training camps. We'll see how that goes. And, man, yeah, Touchdowns to Tangents, touchdownsandtangents.com. Shout out to your favorite podcast app. Shout out to all our affiliates. Shout out to all our people. We are out. Peace.